And I'm live. Got distracted at the last second trying to change a setting on Facebook, and it didn't work, and it took my attention away from the time. Thanks, Facebook, for sucking balls, and not in a good way. So, it's apparently somewhat of a fix for me not being able to post comments directly to Facebook when I stream to Facebook from StreamYard. But the instructions StreamYard gave don't seem to work. So I'll try that again another time. It's not the biggest issue I'm facing in this world. Hello, Stella and Luke. Good evening to you. And what a fine evening. It's cooling down now. It's wow. This is how cold and bleak it's been lately, because it was sunny and 14 Celsius today. It seemed positively balmy. I mean, that's still cold, but it was sunny and 14. I went for a walk at lunchtime. It just felt delightful. Justin, how's the virus state? Busy spreading disease to everyone else, basically. I swear, the last 2 months, I feel like I haven't heard a coronavirus story from other states that didn't have somewhere in it from Melbourne. It's always traced back to someone in Victoria. It's a bit weird. It's 25 where you are, Stella. That seems very warm. And hello, Invisible Chicken. What's that taste like? It tastes like mango tea. I'm just thinking, this is the mango Pepsi Max. I'm trying it again. It tastes a bit like iced tea. I said I was going to try it with bitters tonight, see how that went. So I'll do that. Just a couple of dashes of the Angostura aromatic bitters. Because I'm fancy, I'll stir it. Just mix it in. Doesn't require much stirring. I guess you are in the desert, Stella. Yes. And hey, Strictly Sega, how's it going? Yes, I did see Invisible Chicken. Those two young ladies in Queensland have been charged. I'd be interested in the exact charges. Because I'm really wary of people inventing charges retrospectively, even if it might feel like it's for a good reason. Strictly say you're finishing a part of a game. That's cool. That's cool. Justin, it's not surprising people would lie about where they've been to cross state borders. Yes, that appears to be what there'll be a charge on if they lied about where they'd been. False declarations can get you into a shit ton of trouble. Hello, Annette. Yeah, I know they're like lying to border officials, but you actually have to pass a law to punish someone. You actually can't just say we're going to punish someone for doing this. It has to fall within things. And this feels like, in terms of health emergencies, would be covered by existing laws. I mean, you'd want a lawyer to look at it. Because it is generally frowned upon to prosecute someone for something they did that wasn't against the law when they did it, just because after the fact you're mad about what they did. Generally frowned upon. But I think there probably are laws in place that would govern prosecuting what these young women have done. I suspect they're in for a bad time. So yes, and plus, Jesus, the fucking media publishing their photos and names, just like ruining their lives. They would literally have to go into hiding, and you just know fuckwits are going to track down people that either are their family or they think they're their family and harass and threaten and abuse and attack them because fuckwits are fuckwits. And this always happens when someone does a bad thing. Other people take it upon themselves to be vigilantes and decide to attack the extended family of the people in question, which is bullshit, and not least because they often get the wrong people. But even if they get the right people, like, you know, their parents, their siblings, whatever, the parents and siblings didn't do anything wrong. You can't fucking attack someone just because of who they're related to. People do that shit all the time. Well, anyway, my verdict on mango Pepsi with bitters. Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. No, that's actively good. The mango Pepsi is interesting and it's not bad. It's possibly good. I feel like it's a stronger flavor than the other fruit Pepsis there were. Possibly not stronger than the creaming soda, which is a super sweet taste. But yeah, adding bitters to it, there's a bit of an aftertaste. No, adding bitters to it is a winning move, actually. Might even experiment with different flavors of bitters, seeing I have a dozen different bitters in my repertoire. Yeah, just I know there'd be Public Health Act stuff you could prosecute these women under. I'm not sure about the border thing, because obviously coming into the country, that's where actual strict border controls are. If you lie on your entry papers coming into the country, that can have very severe repercussions. But I'm not sure if there's any legal things about borders. There's this. The states can impose borders, like not being able to take fruit across borders and whatnot. I'm sure there are laws under which these young women can be prosecuted. They open themselves up for a world of pain, just like they fucking did everything wrong. And they do come across as incredibly irresponsible. Yeah, just in practical terms, it's like we need some form of visa to travel interstate here now. It is weird. No, Stella, the Pepsi Max is no sugar. No sugar. It's got more caffeine than regular Pepsi. Sweetener. I'm going to look up these numbers. Sweet N 951. That is aspartame. Okay. And sweetener 950 is acetylsulfame potassium. There you go. There you go. So it's got two different chemical sweeteners in it. You do get a bit of it, particularly if you're not used to it. There is a bit of a chemical aftertaste in those, but I ended up getting used to it. Like, I literally started drinking Pepsi Max because I was drinking too much cola, and I go, I can't have that much sugar. And I more or less tossed a coin with Diet Coke and Pepsi Max. I went with Pepsi Max because it has more caffeine. and now I acquired a taste for it, and it's what I drink out of preference now. Annette, I wonder if they were drunk, drug fucked, or just have no impulse control. I mean, I'm leaning towards all of the above. Yeah, I kind of agree that these women, they're only 19 and they look like they've had plastic surgery. They've definitely had stuff injected into their lips. Their cheekbones look a bit weird too, as if there's been surgery done. That might just be makeup. On the plus side, like I said, with the media trying to ruin their lives, having to go in hiding, all they'd have to do is not wear makeup and they'd be unrecognizable from those photos because they are wearing excessive amounts of makeup in those pictures. And yeah, hey, cool if that's your thing. But yeah, it'd be relatively easy to go incognito because take off the makeup, you'd be unrecognizable. Catherine, there's all about no fruit and veg. Yeah, with the borders, that's true. I think it's right to say there'd be some, under the Public Health Act, the state has the right to declare certain controls, and if you breach them, they can charge you with it. Yes, and they may have had fillers of some sort injected in their cheeks because they are absurdly pronounced. But who knows? Who knows? Actually, that makeup thing and being unrecognizable. I don't know who here has heard of Belle Delphine. She's a young lady who poses in the slightly saucy photos for horny boys. I believe in the parlance of the day, she does lewds, not nudes. So she wears revealing outfits and does provocative poses, but there's no actual nudity. And she has, and because she goes with a lot of the gaming tropes and the anime tropes, so she has all these gamer boys and anime boys drooling over her, and she notoriously sold her bath water, bottles of water that she said she had bathed in, and made a lot of money doing it, which I thought was hilarious because there's been this weird old saying that, you know, you're so horny for someone you'd drink their bath water. I don't really know anything about her. Like, she might be an awful person, but I think she's somewhat of a genius, possibly an evil genius, but still a genius, because she's doing this, making this money, getting these sort of angry boys obsessed with her, but because she does heavy stylized makeup and wears wigs and stuff, and so she decides she doesn't want to do it anymore. All she needs to do is not wear that makeup and go natural hair. She'd be unrecognizable. She wouldn't be blowing her cover at all. Yes, Stella, I think it's funny that she's getting all the money out of the horny incels, and they're so angry about it, but still giving her the money. Invisible Chicken, someone you watch has done a few videos on her. She sounds funny. I mean, yeah, listen, I don't really know much about her, but I think she's fucking smart. Because she's done this thing and she can, as soon as she wants to step away from it, she can, and she won't be recognizable. Fucking clever. Really fucking clever. Justin, the ACT is going to have an election in the pandemic. Wonder how they have to shut down campaign. That's a big thing. I wasn't sure what you meant there, and then I got it. Whingy subs. Yes, complaining, submissive boys. But yeah, I'm sort of more power to her. She's taking control there. I'm really wary of going, she's awesome, because then you find out she's a Nazi or something. It's just because that's just how the internet is. everyone's a milkshake duck. I love that term. Someone on Twitter, I think it was the Pixelated Boat account, coined the term years ago with a tweet that just says, "Everyone loves the milkshake duck, the lovable duck that loves milkshakes." And then 5 minutes later, we regret to inform you the duck is a Nazi. It's just like the thing, someone tugs at your heartstrings or makes you laugh or inspires you or something. You go, they're the best. And then you find out something horrible about them. They're racist. They're an actual white supremacist. They're a pedophile, something like that. It's just like, ugh, I'm so super cautious about, saying someone's great when I don't know anything about them, in case they end up being a milkshake duck. Yes. Invisible Chicken, she said she'd set up a porn hub if she got so many likes, and she did. But yes, you can post videos on Pornhub that are not porn. And that's what she did. So, it's like that guy who does the wholesome Pornhub videos, like, I tuck you into bed. He's hilarious. I've never watched. I should watch one of his videos. I've only seen the thumbnails that people share in articles and memes. So I've never actually. I should watch his videos. But just conceptually, he's hilarious. Justin Frank Underwood and Kevin Spacey. Yeah. Kevin Spacey had. It's weird that it took. Well, no, it's not weird because there's a power structure in place. It's like it took. Kevin Spacey was an abuser for 20 years. And it took 20 years for someone to come forward and go, no, he sexually assaulted me when he knew I was 16. And then because one guy came forward, then a bunch of people came forward. But yes, Spacey is a milkshake duck, although I don't know that he was ever beloved. But, really people like him as an actor. Joss Whedon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Joss Whedon's been weird and creepy and exploitative. He's one of the ones that I don't think has done anything illegal, but he has put women in situations that made them feel unsafe and exploited. If there's some specific super bad stuff about Joss Whedon I'd want to know about. But yeah, like in the 90s, Joss Whedon, Buffy, girl power, feminist and whatnot. But then it just comes out like, oh, no, what the fuck? Yeah, Justin, in many ways, it is more difficult for a guy to come out and say they were sexually assaulted because there's a different type of judgment. I mean, there's horrible judgment made against women who come forward about being raped or sexually assaulted, but there's a whole different layer of stuff with guys in that situation. That's okay, Annette. That's what I thought happened. Wouldn't Legal? He had extramarital affairs and was lying to his wife, and it was women he worked with, which was power imbalance and wrong and creepy. It's kind of like when I mentioned this recently, found out about one of my favorite comic writer, Warren Ellis, has been having sex with fans for like 20 years and always keeping a secret and telling them not to tell anyone, and them thinking they're the one. And, but he's just having a production line of women that he's having sex with. And it's a really disconcerting. Ooh, text message from an... Okay. Cool. I have to post someone a package tomorrow because they just sent me the postage money. Yeah, Stella, that's the thing. Whedon exploited his power position to have sex with women, and it's like really uncool abusing your position like that. And that's what Warren Ellis did. He abused his position, didn't do anything illegal. It was just sleazy. It's just super fucking sleazy and dishonest and gross, and he shouldn't do it. Yeah. Isn't it? You hear the feminist themes for his shows, and it's a big disappointment. Kind of like when you read the stories about, this person who was the head of a charity for underprivileged children and raised all this money, and then you find out they're a pedophile and they were using their position to abuse vulnerable children as charity work solely so they get access to people, because it's not just children it happens to, but solely so they get access to people to exploit. It's like, oh, you just make everyone think you're great, and then you're the worst of the worst. Hey, Locust Trooper, how you doing, buddy? Annette, I'm not sure in the case of Joss Whedon, but I know in the case of Warren Ellis, the women were really into it. Like, they were absolutely enamored with him, and they really, really, really wanted to have sex with him. It's just he was lying to them about what their relationship was. He was regularly making women think it was something serious when it was absolutely meaningless to him, which is just sort of creepy and exploitative and not cool. So, Sally, you worked at a mining camp. There's a sexual predator going into guys' rooms and molesting them, and did it to multiple men. Yeah, and they wouldn't come forward because of the stigma of male sexual assault. And that predator, that's creepy as fuck. They know exactly what they're doing, that these guys will be very unwilling to go to the authorities. That is a frightening person, because that's the sort of person who turns into a killer. Someone who does that calculated a series of assaults, that's the sort of person who turns into a killer. They're like fucking frightening. They're like really frightening sociopaths. They're exploiting a power thing because they think it's their right to do it. It's like when you get bosses who are sociopaths. They're never gonna. Well, I don't know. They're probably never going to kill someone, but when they treat people like shit and exploit people in the workplace, they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They think those people deserve it because they're weak. Locust Trooper, you've been making CAD-led TV stands, SolidWorks, selling LED TV stands now. Nice. See, that's a fucking growth market. Bloody everyone keeps buying the new TVs. Yes, another good point, Stella. He picks the particular sort of victims who aren't the guys who are going to flog the shit out of him. Yeah. Yep. No, that guy, it sounds like a particularly dangerous predator. Justin, you've seen experiments where actors playing a couple act out a fight. When the man hits the woman, people intervene, but they laugh when it's the other way around. And that's not right. Who remembers the famous security footage of Jay-Z and his entourage in an elevator and coming out, and Beyonce's sister Solange really quite violently attacks Jay-Z, because it comes out Jay-Z was fucking around an enormous amount, and Solange was angry at him and really quite violently attacks him, and that was absolutely not on. He didn't retaliate, but her doing that really full-on physical attack on him because she was angry at him was completely unreasonable and completely unacceptable. And yeah, I mean, more power to him to not actually physically fight back because a lot of people would have forgiven him for it. But she was way out of line doing that. It's like, fine, you're fucking angry at him. He's not threatening you. You're not in danger. To actually lash out like that with violence is just completely unacceptable. But yeah, and that was treated like a joke, and it was the obvious joke because Jay-Z's possibly most famous for the track 99 Problems. Got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. And all the things were, well, it looks like Jay-Z's got 100 problems now. And oh, nice, Locust Trooper, you're making video tutorials on YouTube how to do 3D design. Dude, that's growth. That's a growth industry. I think 3D design and printing is going to be bigger. Okay, Sally, you don't remember that. I'm going to do a search to make sure I got it right. Yep. Just search Solange attacking. Should she say her name Solange or Solange? Just search Solange attacking Jay-Z. And you'll see the video because it was caught on security cameras. It was at the 2014 Met Gala party. Oh, Beyonce was there too. There you go. And she eventually stepped between them. And they're all saying we're all good about it. There you go. Okay. Yeah, no, it was, and they've never publicly said what it was about, but it was because he was screwing around and Solange was angry at him. But yeah. You may be right, Justin, with violence towards men by women being underreported. Of course, a big proviso is that's almost never fatal. So it's still not excusable. Oh, I know I've been put in some bad positions in the past myself. But yeah, I think that's actually reasonable to say. But yes, you don't get you don't get women murdering men, their partners every week in Australia, which is what you do get with men murdering current or former partners more than once a week in Australia. So yeah, good call, Annette. What sort of fool cheats on Beyonce? You know what I honestly reckon it was? Because Jay-Z was pretty big shit in the 90s, but hadn't really been in the spotlight. And then suddenly, Beyonce was the most glamorous thing on the planet. I reckon it was probably insecurity on his part that he was just being so completely outdone by Beyonce. He had to feel like a man. That would honestly be my bet, that he was feeling insecure. Yes, like Trivia told me, your mum's philo tend to be passionate, and yes, leave it at that, mayhap. But yes, I wasn't even thinking about my Filipina ex, actually. Yes. Again, I did try not to shit on exes, even if I was really unhappy about things that happen. But, the concept of cheating on Beyonce is really weird. But I honestly reckon with Jay-Z. It was an insecurity thing, being completely outshone by Beyonce. Oh yeah, and no shortage of women who'd want to be the one who stole Beyonce's man, or even just to be close to power and glamour and fame and money. It's quite fame, money, and power. Quite the aphrodisiacs. Like, true, I'm going to say no comment to that, basically. Justin, you raise a good point about psychological abuse, psychological violence can be very cruel and hurtful. You never had a girlfriend? Oh, well, dude. I don't know what to say to that. It's like, those things happen. But yeah, relationships are complicated. Violence is not an acceptable thing. And you're just getting into very murky waters. Like, I mean, have you ever heard a story as fucked up as like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard story? That just seems like clusterfuck of two awful fucked up people that are absolutely poisonous for each other. It's just like, oof, nah. It's just like fame does weird, fucked up shit to people. Just makes them not really human, honestly. I was watching a few episodes of BoJack Horseman recently. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. A Netflix animated series about a character who's a horseman. It's like he's got a human body and a horse's head. And he's in this world where it's all this mix of humans and anthropomorphized animals. And that's normal in that world. And the humans and animals interact. The different animal species interact, then they get married, they have sex, they have weird offspring, kids. And Annette, that's the exact thing I was going to say. Fame retards the maturation process. There's a thing where someone's explaining why BoJack is such a fuck up and doesn't take any responsibility. He says he's always going to be the age he was when he got famous. Famous people stop maturing when they get famous because they don't have to mature anymore. Everyone tells them they're right all the time. So they don't have to learn and they don't have to grow. It's obviously an oversimplification, but it feels like there's a lot of truth in there about, just you stop growing at a particular age. Could explain why child stars are so fucked up, because they don't get the proper maturation process you need through puberty. So, yeah. Mate, when I was with my ex, did she get the Spanish? No. Oh my God. That's okay. For those who don't know, for, I don't know, hundreds of years, the Philippines was a Spanish colony. And then it was liberated by America in the Spanish-American War. And the people of the Philippines went, "We're free!" And the Americans went, "No, you're not." And Americans did fun sort of genocide-y things to anyone who stood up to them in the Philippines. Good times, good times. American colonialism, yes. That's the other thing in it. They have fuck all problems to solve. Although, here's a thing. In defense of celebrities, I'll say entertainers, not celebrities. In defense of entertainers, because for me, that encompasses sports people, musicians, actors, comedians, everyone who dedicates their life to entertainment. Almost without exception, they fuck their lives up for us. They don't get a normal life. They just don't. And in an overwhelmingly large number of cases, literally fucks their life up. Sports people dying young because of injuries they sustained in sports, or succumbing to chronic illness because of injuries they had in sports. Entertainers just sliding into ruin from alcoholism and substance abuse, being suicidal. And the thing you've got to remember in entertainment, and this is across all realms of entertainment, again, sport, music, acting, comedy, all these things, the people who go into it, who will dedicate years, decades of their life to trying to attain, a lifestyle, fame, success. 99% of the people who spend years working at it don't get that. They don't get fame. They don't get a career they can even live off. 99% of them will dedicate years to decades of their life to trying to get that, and they won't. And of the 1% who do, of the 1% who are successful, I reckon 99% of them aren't happy. They sacrifice too much. They sacrifice normal relationships. They sacrifice their physical and mental health. They sacrifice their longevity. And look, it's hard to feel sympathy for the really big ones, the 1% of the 1% of the 1% who make millions and have these lavish lifestyles. I think the majority of them are still fucked up. They've fucked themselves up for us, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. I think even the ones with the shit tons of money and everything you could possibly dream of, I think the majority of them have fucked themselves up for us. And it's a shit system. It's the system that punishes 99% of the people who try to entertain us, like crushes them completely. And then of the ones that aren't crushed, it fucks up most of them. It's a really shit system. They can't have normal relationships. They can't have a normal life. If everything goes right for them, they can have a better than normal life, honestly. But the truly happy ones are so rare. Most of them are miserable and fucked up. And they're so dislocated from what we see as reality. They don't really know what's real. And it's really fucked up. Hey, when we mean private one day, okay, dude, yes, those are offline stories, as we say, Locust Trooper. The true things. Oh my God! Well, there's the glam women. That's a different thing altogether. Glam women videoing themselves rebelling against coronavirus rules. Well, that one we were talking about the other night, who got fucked up by the cops. She did that stupid video that she wasn't going to pay attention to a cop trying to stop her when she was traveling around, and she kept doing it, and they stopped her in Carlton and said, "Explain why you're here." And she said, "No." And then when she showed me your license, she said, "No." And go, "I'm not asking. You are required to provide identification." And she wound up her window going, "I'm a private citizen." And they went, "This is a fucking truncheon." Bang, and smashed the window and dragged her out and arrested her. And I think they've got up to 6 charges on her, and they are going to make a point of going hard on her. But then, of course, she's going, I don't know, she'll have, I reckon, I doubt there'd be incarceration for her, but I think she'll end up with tens of thousands of dollars in fines. And then she'll just go on the internet and go, "Oh, big brother, the state is oppressing me." And the fuckwits who love that sort of shit will give her money to pay the fines. That's very... Stella, how does the Rolling Stones song go? If I could stick a knife in my heart and suicide on the stage, would it be enough for your teenage lust? Yep. Yes. I have kind of wondered, dude, where the name Locust Trooper came from. It is an interesting and unique online name. Kudos. Justin, there's a ring of steel. Nah, it's actually it's a porous ring. It's a ring of sponge. It's a ring of sponge with very open holes in it. So a lot of people have told me, "Oh no, I've been driving around everywhere. I've never been stopped." Most of the people who get stopped are doing something fucking stupid. Like if you got a lot of people in your car, you're going to get stopped. But yeah, you know, the cops set up checkpoints occasionally. It's from the Gideo game. Gideo game. Don't we like Gideo games? Gears of War. There you go. That is one of the millions of video games I haven't played. The Locust Troops. There you go. There you go. Okay. See, if I was any sort of a gamer, I'd know that. But I don't game that much. Justin, I imagine it is easier to get into Victoria than out of it at the moment. If you want to come to Plague Town, come on down. We'll welcome you. Yeah. I'm just trying not to get too bleak because, I mean, like, you know, we get those numbers of 700 and something cases. Like, fuck me. There's anything because you don't know what's going to happen next. You go, well, is that an aberration? Is it going to go back down? Like this time next week, you know, desperately hoping the numbers are consistently under 200 new cases a day by the end of next week. Desperately hoping that. I don't know if it's going to happen. I feel like we did the right things to get it there, but I can't see what's happening. So is this 700 like a doubling? Is that the horrible, momentous, that's the doubling we were worried about, and it's going to stay up there and it's going to keep going up? Or is it an aberration as just the nature of testing and that sometimes you get these weird spikes and it's going to go back down and it'll continue to go down, and over the coming weeks and months it'll come down, you know, to close to zero? I honestly think that's the most likely outcome. I think over the coming weeks and months, Melbourne will move back towards zero new cases. Probably going to take a while. A much worse outcome is absolutely possible. Justin, yes, I did hear the talk about closing the ACT border. New South Wales is on a fucking knife edge. New South Wales is there. See, we've been balancing on this very ugly thing of, are we ever going to get it below hundreds of cases a day, or is it going to get out of control? Is it going to stay like this for an extended period? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? I don't know. New South Wales are on that thing like, fuck, this is just the kind of number of cases that could spiral out really quickly. Although we could have it under control. It could be under control. And you just nip it in the bud and you're going to get this dozen or so cases for a while, and then you've traced everything, got everyone isolated, and you've got to bring it back down closer to zero. And of course, you know, fucking Queensland's fucking panicking at the moment because of those women who went there and exposed, from the sounds of it, they exposed hundreds of people. And of course, those hundreds, a certain number of them will test positive, and who the fuck knows who they interacted with in the meantime as well. So Queensland is on the verge of discovering just how bad it could be. Look, Strip, do I think Dan Andrews fucked up? Okay, my question to you is, what would you say was the specific thing that you could say, did he fuck that up or not? Because he's not going around giving people coronavirus. So he didn't do that. But what decision or lack thereof would you be talking about? My thing is no. Apparently some people are still trying to say it's like, well, it's because you used private security on the hotel quarantine. That was the whole problem. And that's where we did get some outbreaks from. But I was also trying to say all these people from the fucking Liberal Party saying, they shouldn't have used private security guards. Oh, and they subcontract. Could you imagine how they would have acted if ahead of time, with no evidence, when we decided we're putting overseas visitors coming back into hotel quarantine, if ahead of time, with no evidence, Dan Andrews has said, I'm not using private security because they're a bunch of cowboys, they won't follow proper procedure, hell, their security guards will probably end up fucking the guests to let them out. I'm locking everyone down with the army, god damn it. The army's coming in and they're going to do what the army tells them. The Liberal Party would have lost their fucking mind and saying he's a communist dictator and using the military. And that's what makes me angry. From the Murdoch media and their paid flunkies in the Liberal Party just talking this shit. Really fucking annoying. But no, in my mind, Dan Andrews didn't fuck up. We are not getting a perfect result, though, are we? It's a very complicated situation. People are trying to work a bit much on hindsight. So, yes. Yeah, Safa, there was no comprehensive tender for security guards. There was no time. This was a decision that was made. We're going to start putting in hotels now, and they have to stay there. There would normally be a really full-on tender process, but they were not. It was just like, let's just hire these established security companies to do security. And those security companies were criminally irresponsible in not using trained staff. They fucked up. It's like I said, if Dan Andrews had tried to say, I'm not going to use private security because they're a bunch of criminals and cowboys who'll fuck everything up, I'm going to use the army. It's like the Liberal Party would have, and the Murdoch media would have lost their fucking minds. They're lying shit scum fucking hypocrites. I hate them so much. So you've been a security guard. Yes, yeah. Is that like on the first page of the pamphlet? Fucking the clients is a major no-no. And yeah, it's a perfectly reasonable assumption that if I hire a security company to provide security for people with potentially life-threatening disease, like they potentially have this virus that's causing a global pandemic, it's just reasonable to assume they won't have guards who will fuck the guests. It's just, what the fuck? Invisible Chicken, your uni was going to have people return to campus in 3 weeks. Not sure if it'll happen now. Yep, I think it's a safe bet. I'm going to be working from home for the rest of the year. I'm actually working for the state government at the moment. I think it's a fairly safe bet. I'll be working from home for the rest of the year, at least. You know, initially it was for a month and in 2 months, then up to 4 months. Then it was going to be till September. I was like, no, dude, it's the rest of the fucking year. It really is. Yeah. Hey, you know what might be fun? I got a Dan Murphy's delivery today. So, Musical Aviator, you just finished watching the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra performing concert in March 2020. Had tickets to go, but couldn't because of lockdown. Yep. Okay, so I got a special, was it 10-year-old or 12-year-old? I'm going to do a rum comparison because I bought a couple rums recently. So, I have a couple of Australian rums and not Australian rum. So this one I've had for a while. This is not Bundaberg, but another Queensland rum distiller, Beanley. This is their 5-year rum. It's quite a dark one. This one's called Flor de Cana, 7-year-old. It's from Nicaragua. So even though it's 7-year-old, it's a much lighter color than the Beanley. But today, I got Bundaberg 12-year-old. And a lot of rum drinkers poo-poo, like, the Bundy Red and whatnot. But their special ones tend to have a decent reputation. And this was on quite a good special on the Dan Murphy's. So I got it along with some other stuff. Our boldest dark rum, aged in American oak. Aging this legendary rum for 12 years give notes of rich molasses, warming aromatic layers of clove and nutmeg that develop into a raisin and honeyed oak finish. To make the perfect black and dry, take a highball glass, add 3 dashes of chocolate bitters, followed by crushed ice, add 45 ml of Bundaberg black rum, top with ginger ale, and stir. Garnish with a slice of orange. No, I don't like ginger ale, so I'm not doing that. But I'm just going to taste these side by side. Locust Trooper, I think that was yesterday's numbers. We had like 700 and something today, which was fucking terrifying. So I'm going to taste these side by side. I'll go up in age. Start with the Beanley 5. You see, I've been making lots of cocktails with this. Actually making a lot of clarified milk punches with this. Oh my God, it smells so sweet. It smells like caramel chop. It smells like, like a caramello chocolate thing. You break it open and smell. That's what it smells like. Like, this is just super caramel, the nose on this. Oh, it's so warm going down. But just, oh man, yeah, the dominant flavor in this is definitely, you know what? I should rinse my palate between them. I'll get some water so I can rinse my palate like a professional. Whoa. See what? I just had a little bit of water. It's like washing off my tongue. The sweetness that was washing off my tongue. It's amazingly sweet. Okay, Flor de Cana. This one's supposed to famously have no added sugar. Flor de Cana means sugarcane flour. At the end of this palm tree-lined railroad is the Flor de Cana distillery, located on the grounds of our own sugarcane plantation in Chichilpa, Nicaragua. Created in 1890, Flor de Cana is a handcrafted rum, distilled and slow-aged in a time-honored tradition being handed down through the generations. So, this is an imported one. Aren't you supposed to have coffee between tastings, or is that smelling? I fucking hate coffee. This nowhere near as sweet on the nose. It's got spicier notes, really. Very good. There's more complex flavors in that one. Doesn't burn as much going down either. It's just so much less. I reckon this has got a lot of added sugar. Flor de Cana famously has no added sugar. I think the Beanley's probably got a lot of. I'm not going to hold it against them because it actually tasted really nice, but I think the Beanley's probably got a lot of added sugar. Yeah, I don't get sweetness when I wash my tongue off with this one. It's more of the spices. Mm. Slow. I love the term slow aged. How do you age something slowly? Don't things all age at the same rate? I don't know. Maybe my understanding of the linear progression of time is flawed. And finally, the Bundaberg Black. 12-year age. These are all just 40%. I think 40%, 40%, 40%. So they're all just standards. So you get the crack of breaking the seal. Now the nose. Oh, that's like, this one's chocolate. And again, spices. That's what I get from it, chocolate and spices. And what they say, funky. This has got the rum funk going on, this one, I think. Okay, tasty times. That's like molasses. And again, very warm going down. That's interesting. The sweetness profile on this one's like caramel. This is really sugary sweet. I'd guess this has got a lot of added sugar. This one this has got a deeper molasses sweetness in it. And yeah, there's funky sort of herbal notes in it as well. Good contrast between them. I think this one's particularly good for my clarified milk cocktails. I'm going to have to think of the right cocktail to make with this one. 12-year-old Bundaberg Black. Bring out its character a bit. Justin, Trump's poll numbers, Texas is starting to think. Texas was the only reason Texas doesn't vote Democrat, shameless gerrymandering and vote suppression in minority areas. The makeup of Texas, if the voting was at all fair in Texas, Texas would be a Democratic state. So I would not be hugely surprised if Texas goes against Trump in November, because I think America is only getting bad news. America is only getting bad news between now and November. I really worry about what the death toll from COVID is going to be by November. They're really consistently getting more than 1,000 deaths a day for the last week. There were 5 days in a row over 1,000 deaths. 2 days weirdly lower, like 450 and 550. And then the day after that, which was yesterday, was 1,100, and today was like 1,500 dead. Really is not looking good for America. And that is gonna hurt Trump, because it's just going to keep coming back to, coronavirus isn't his fault, but he has consistently and comprehensively fucked up the response to it. Yeah, Justin, and the other thing with the demographics in Texas finally overpowering the gerrymandering and voter suppression, if they get enough Democratic lawmakers, maybe they could make the voting districts fairer as well, because they're criminally perverted. I might even try and think of a cocktail to make with that tonight. I'll do a little bit of web searching. I'm going to put these two back. Oh. What does my little cocktail Bible here say about dark rum? Hey, Glee, by the way. Yeah, I hope everyone's well too. I hope you're well. Looking up the index for rum. Rum Ajed. Dark Jamaican, overproof. Blackstrap. What's Blackstrap rum? 159162. Oh yeah, tiki, of course. A Mai Tai. A Donga Punch. Aged rum. Demerara rum. Sugar, 2070 Swizzle. Oh, that's the one I made. That's this is a good drink. I like this one. A 2070 Swizzle. Do 1 ounce of aged rum, 1 ounce of overproof rum, half an ounce of sugar syrup, half an ounce of honey syrup, 1/4 ounce of allspice liqueur, and a few drops of absinthe, and a few drops of bitters. That is a fucking nice drink. That's a fair call, Justin. Once Texas falls, Democrats will hold the White House. Things change. Everyone always thinks, and I've seen this over the last couple of decades in American politics, everyone always thinks when things go their way for a while, it's going to be us forever. The Republicans post-Reagan were going on about a permanent majority. And, the Democrats with Clinton are like, yeah, we're going to shit it in, and then W. Bush gets in. And then with Bush too, the Republicans were going, we're going to be in control forever. And then Obama gets in and whatnot. We'll always swing back and forth. Glee, that is a very yummy drink. 2 sorts of rum. A test pilot. Amber Jamaican rum. White rum. Cointreau. Falernum. Oh, fuck me. I might make that one. That sounds good. Amber rum. White rum. Cointreau. Falernum. Lime juice. And again, drops of absinthe. Oh, I might make that a test pilot. Rum agricole. There's this rum variant called rum agricole. And the rum's, apparently it's French, and the rum's spelled RHUM. And the agricole, it's French for farmer's rum, basically. And it's kind of like cachaça, which is like a brilliant Brazilian variant of rum that's made from sugarcane juice rather than molasses. Rum's traditionally made from molasses, boiled down sugarcane juice, so you get the really rich dark molasses, and then that's the base for most rums. But rum agricole is sugarcane juice, and cachaça is sugarcane juice. But whenever I see this rum agricole, which is French apparently, I did some Latin at school, and I just see it as the Latin agricole, which was the farmer. And I get to make it look silly because people say it's not agricole, it's agricole. Okay, but I did Latin at school. It looks like agricole, but it does mean farmer's rum, so or farm rum. Test pilot, Jamaican rum, white rum, Cointreau, 3 dots in a dash. Rum agricole, Demerara rum, honey syrup, lime juice, orange juice, bitters, falernum, allspice. God damn. It all sounds good. Oh, the classic, the zombie. The zombie. Oof. Again, dark rum, white rum, overproof rum, falernum, Don's mix, lime juice, bitters, drops of absinthe again, a little bit of grenadine. So, Don's punch. Wait, where's Don's mix? 159. Don's mix. Grapefruit juice with cinnamon syrup. Don't have any cinnamon syrup. 185 for a recipe for Don's mix. All right, that's a mix for cinnamon syrup. Mix a rich, simple syrup. Once the sugars dissolve, add several coarsely crushed sticks of cinnamon. Let simmer for 5 minutes and then cover and remove from heat. Might make some cinnamon sugar syrup, actually. No. So a zombie might be a bit over the top. A test pilot. I'm not sure if I've ever made that. You do, well, it actually only says amber, not dark. But maybe this one and white rum, Cointreau, falernum, lime juice. A couple of drops of absinthe. Yeah, boy. Stella, did I finish up doing a milk clarified zombie? I really did. And it was super dangerous. It went down so easy. And I made a batch of it. So for those who don't know, a zombie is typically 1.5 ounces dark rum, 1.5 ounces white rum, 1 ounce of overproof rum, and then half an ounce of falernum, which is a rum liqueur. So basically it's rum, and rum, and with some lime juice or some fruit juices in it, you know, do a bit of grapefruit juice and lime juice in there. So in one drink, if you count the overproof rum, this is basically 5 ounces. So like one drink of this is, depending how you make it, 5 to 8 standard drinks. So this is one drink that if you're not shy and make it strong, will just fuck you up. And it's not it's a tall drink. You're not a short drink. And I did do a clarified version. It did not taste like alcohol, which is super dangerous because there was a fuck ton of alcohol in it. Tempted to do it again. Clarified zombie. Actually, maybe I will just for shits and gigs. But I want to make a test pilot, a variant on a test pilot anyway, and use this. I think they'll come through. All right, I'm not going to do crushed ice. I'm just going to do a big block of ice in my tiki goblet. Right. So if you're complaining about NBN, missed your brother's unit. Yeah. All right. Well, don't hold Musical Aviator personally responsible for NBN fuck ups, because there's a lot of reason we get NBN fuck ups. Right. I'm gonna start to get stuff ready. Wash that man right out. This. Gonna put this in the freezer for a bit. Move an ice cube tray around. That'll do. Put that in there. Get it nice and chilled. Where's my shaker? Oh, right. Was I cleaning it? Oh, I wasn't keeping track of what I was cleaning. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so got my shaker, got my strainer. Got to get rums. Oh, I know what I'm going to use. My special citrus infused white rum. This is going to be a house special, this one. And, I'm almost out of overproof. I've got to go get some overproof rum. So what else? No, it's not on here. It's on here. Rum, Cointreau, and falernum, and lime juice. Right. So, marionettes, curacao. Falernum is over here in rum territory. Try and group the drinks together so it's easier for me to find them, because I've got a lot of bottles there. Lime juice. Lime juice. I have to get some limes too. Okay. Is that everything? Lime juice, bitters, absinthe. Just drops of absinthe. Oh, they're saying the right way to do this is in a blender. I'm not going to do that. It's fun to do in a blender. Just going to shake it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Oh, where's my jigger? Jesus. Get all my stuff together. Right, you bloody well, right. Okay. Okay, so look at the recipe for the 50th time. 1.5 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce. Okay, that's easy enough. So, do a Queensland test pilot. 1.5 ounces of my newly purchased Bundaberg 12-year-old. A rich dark color it has. 3/4 ounce of white rum. This was white rum, and I infused it with citrus peel, blood orange, and lime peel, and it's gotten this beautiful color, and it's taken on a lot of lime citrus characteristics. Well, so 3/4 ounce of this, and it was 1/2 ounce of the others. 1/2 ounce of curacao. I hate this stopper. I always think and I do sometimes splash it. Okay, so 1/2 ounce of curacao, or triple sec, or Cointreau, or whatever you've got. 1/2 ounce of falernum, which, if you're at all interested in making tropical drinks, this is worth investing in. It's not that hard to get. I think Dan Murphy's has it. But it's this really sort of rich rum-based liqueur. The Taste of Barbados. And 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Half an ounce of lime juice. Supposed to do a couple drops of absinthe. Always worried I put too much in because it's a really strong flavor. So, a couple of drops. That's probably enough. A couple of drops. And Un dash of Angostura. Probably enough of that. And I'll just double check. I haven't forgotten anything from the recipe. Rum, Cointreau, falernum, lime, bitters, absinthe. Yep. That's everything. That's really cold. Fucking hell. The condensation made it stick to my coaster. All right. There we go. That's pretty wild. They got a big bit of ice in here too. Remember to refill this ice cube tray. What's that song with lyric? That's pretty wild. That's pretty strange. But have you ever seen a jellyfish? That shit's crazy. Right. Und so. Well, it's a very golden colored drink. All right. Yeah, it's a very orange drink. Yes, I fooled you. I'm not really drinking booze. I'm drinking orange juice. No. Mysterious strange figure sneaking into the kitchen. Very, very cunning and unseen. Very shrewdly done. Now, taste test, my test pilot. Ooh. Oh man, the flavors in this one. Because there's no sweetener in that. No sugar syrup. I mean, I don't know. The curacao I used is a dry curacao rather than something really sweet like Cointreau. Falernum's pretty sweet. But there's no sugar syrup. No fruit juice. Well, I mean, sorry. No sweet fruit juice like pineapple. There's lime juice in it. So, no real sweetener in this, but oh, it's like a drier tiki drink, basically. Because tiki drinks are notoriously sweet because they normally have heaps of fruit juice in them, like orange and pineapple and whatnot. And this one doesn't. You can even taste, there's only a little bit of that dry curacao, but there is a definite sort of dry orange flavor in there. But yeah, the rum funkiness is coming out in this. Oh, definitely showcases rum, that one. You're getting those rum flavors, but everything else in there has calmed down, so it's not burning as it goes down. Although, I mean, some people like that, the burn of spirits, be they rum or whiskey or whatever. One of the reasons I like cocktails is a well-balanced cocktail still has the flavors of the spirit in it. But it's not the fierceness of the spirits. You get the character of the spirits without it being overpowering. Like, I rarely drink whiskies straight, but I really like to use whiskies in cocktails. I don't drink. I rarely drink any spirit or liqueur even straight. But yes, cocktails. I'll do them in a cocktail, most definitely. And that's it's not quite bitter, but it's got a very dry edge to it. And I think, a big part of that is because I used a dry Curacao rather than a particularly sweet triple sec or Cointreau. Could have got stupid. I've got blue Curacao there, so I can make blue cocktails. And that would be stupid if this was blue. But if I'd made it with blue Curacao, it would be very blue. So if having a beer, nothing wrong with having a beer. Well, okay, I hate beer, so I think there's something wrong with having a beer. Nothing wrong with you having beer. Why is it called a cocktail? Rumor has it it's a reference to a rooster tail. Where does the name cocktail come from? Real origin of the word cocktail from Chowhound. So, doesn't have anything to do with a rooster, according to this site. Does have something to do with a horse. There's a dictionary entry that says the term cock-tailed originally described a horse with a docked or clipped short tail. Cock-tailed became a pejorative for racehorses without thoroughbred pedigrees, mixed lineage, so it may have come to be applied to alcoholic drinks that were blended rather than pure spirits. Still not quite right. Old theories on the word cocktail. Started showing up in publications in the early 19th century. Editor printed, what is a cocktail? Then a stimulating liquor composed of spirits, sugar, water. That's the old-fashioned was the cocktail. Now it's like all the different mixed drinks are cocktails, but the cocktail was an old-fashioned, which is spirit, sugar, and water and bitters. Oh my God, how's this for a bit of sting? This is like a cocktail is said to be of great use to a Democratic candidate because a person having swallowed a glass of it is ready to swallow anything else. So yes, the cocktail was the old-fashioned. During the colonial period, tavern keepers stored their spirits in casks. When the casks got near empty, the dregs or tailings would be mixed together into one barrel, sold at a reduced price, poured from the spigot, which was referred to as the cock. Patrons wanting this cheaper alcohol would come asking for cocktailings. That could be it. Another popular story comes from New Orleans, where an apothecary by the name of Peychaud, who made famous bitters, served a mixed brandy drink in a French egg cup. Eventually, the drink was named the coquetière, French term for an egg cup. Peychaud's guests had shortened the name to cocktail, and eventually it became cocktail. Those sound legit, right? 2015, alcohol expert David Wondrich trotted out the truth, the probable actual origin of the word. A perky, cocked, or raised up tail on a horse is a sign of vim and vigor. So unscrupulous horse traders in 18th century would put ginger and or pepper in the horse's butt, so the horse would cock its tail and be a bit frisky. As ginger and pepper were also common ingredients to liven up alcoholic drinks, theories the term cocktail was applied to those invigorating libations after the practice of unpleasantly surprising horses with spicy suppositories. At some point, plain old ginger and pepper component drinkable cocktails was widely replaced with bitters. Even later on, cocktail came to encompass all the variations. So this guy reckons that's the source of it. It was sticking ginger or pepper up a horse's butt to make the horse's tail cock, which was supposed to make it look more sprightly. And that was a common ingredient used to liven up alcoholic drinks and eventually mutated into bitters. So this guy's theory is that term, cocktail, was applied to the drinks that had the similar stimulant added to them. Short answer is we'll never know for sure. Stella, you heard a yarn. The socialite at a party game being able to ejaculate without touching himself. These parties were the originals of cocktails. Okay, that wasn't one of the possible ones in the article I just read. But what the article does say is a lot of research has shown the origins of the word are so lost in the past, it is basically impossible to be sure. Like, even if you found a publication from the early 19th century, we call the drink the cocktail because it's got the spicy addition that is often used on horses' butts to make them cock their tail. You wouldn't really know if that was true or if someone had just fucking made it up on the spot. But it's an interesting array of possibilities. What about making the horses cock their tails? The cocktailings, or the anglicized version of the French word for an egg cup. We'll never know. This is the trouble. People try and attach meanings to things retrospectively. Like, I had to explain to someone the concept of a backronym. People fall for this one a lot. An acronym is obviously where you do the initials of something to form a word. NASA is an acronym for the National Aeronautical Space Administration. It was recently NASA's birthday, actually. President... forget who it was. Wasn't Kennedy. Might have been his successor. I don't remember if it was before Kennedy or after Kennedy that NASA was officially formed. But yes, so acronym is initials used to form a word. Not that NASA's a word, but it's still an acronym. What people do, and this is on all fucking over the place on the internet, people come up with backronyms and someone just fucking invents it, and someone else says, did you know the game of tag is an acronym meant touch and go? No, it fucking doesn't. Tag is tagging someone, as you know, slapping them and marking them. It's tagging someone. Some fuckwit decided they'd make up this story, and a whole bunch of other people believed it and circulated it. Backronyms pop up all the time. My favorite one, my absolute favorite one, was the original scanner technology, which was a magical fucking thing in the early days of it. Scanners used to cost $1,000. Now, you know, this. Do you still get? Oh yeah, you get combo printer scanners now that, you know, retail for $50. Scanners used to cost $1,000. They were magic. And the technology that made scanners work, the software was called Twain, as in make two of. The programmer who invented the code that made scanners work called it Twain, as in that means making two of. You're scanning a copy. And people sort of pressed him for a while, what did Twain mean? Like, because it seemed like an acronym. And he's going, it means Twain. What the fuck do you think it means? And he eventually came up with an acronym for it. They said, what does Twain mean? And he said, oh, it's an acronym for technology without an interesting name, which is fucking hilarious. That was really clever. But it was never an acronym. It was literally he just arbitrarily called it Twain because it was code that helped you make a copy, helped you make two of something. And because people kept pressuring him for what it meant because they thought it looked like an acronym, he invented one and said it stands for technology without an interesting name, Twain. That was a backronym, but that was one done tongue-in-cheek for fun. And so I like that. And not quite backronym-y, but Wi-Fi. In the early days of Wi-Fi, people were going, it means wireless fidelity. No, it fucking doesn't. It was just a joke. And I think it came out of the CSIRO in Australia because they invented the technology. What will we call it? And I don't know, someone must have been a hi-fi fan. Your old home stereos, the high-end ones were called hi-fi, which stood for high fidelity. And some wag, as I said, probably in the CSIRO, maybe from somewhere in Silicon Valley or something, came up with this name of the technology for wireless connectivity, called it Wi-Fi. And that was just a joke. It rhymes with hi-fi. And people go, it means wireless fidelity. It fucking does not. It doesn't mean anything. It's just Wi-Fi. Someone thought it was funny. Their home stereos were called hi-fi. So it's like, okay, home wireless connectivity. We're going to call it Wi-Fi just because I don't know, it's funny. I'm a nerd. This is fucking funny to me. No, it stands for wireless fidelity. It fucking doesn't. Shut the fuck up. You get feisty sometimes about really insignificant things. I should start a YouTube channel where I get angry about stuff. Maybe I'll do that. Start up a YouTube channel where I shout and be angry about things. I don't know. It's a crazy idea, but it just might work. Just adding water to my drink now. The ice is melting. But that's okay. I'm just going to wash it down. That was pretty good. Oof. I think I will use this one. Make a clarified zombie for the weekend. Maybe I'll make it now, actually. Make a double. What's a good zombie cocktail recipe? What's in your head? Sprucey Diffords. I've got a lot of time for Diffords. What does Diffords say a zombie is? Rum. Falernum. Pineapple juice, lime juice, grapefruit juice. That's a good fucking combo. Yes, I'm going to make Right. I make a double thing of it too. Look at the sunrise. What's the song that just popped into my head? It's just you and me. There ain't a place I'd rather be. What was that song called? I don't know. I'm gone weird. They were weirdo New Zealanders that had one big hit and a couple almost hits in Australia. Counting the Beat. That was it. Okay. I'm counting the beat. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh dear. Weird early 80s pop. They were all over Countdown back in the day. Alrighty, I am gonna make a zombie. Well, I'm just do a quick comparison. The zombie in here. Because everyone has their own little tweak on a zombie. Pisco bell ringer. A donga punch. 3 dots and a dash. A zombie. Pot still Jamaican rum. White rum. 3 ounces. 3 ounces. 2 ounces. 1 ounce. Okay. I'm going to make a huge fucking zombie mix for the weekend. Right. Let's do it. Get my mixing glass and put it all in. Bam. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. This is what I want. Right. So, I might run out of overproof rum in this. I'll just have to go to a bottle shop and get some. Yep. I'm fucking going to town. Do 3 ounces of that. Look at that. That's a beautiful color. It's just almost black on there. It's just a really dark amber brown. It's a beautiful color. Right. Put that back. Use up some of my citrusy-fied. No, I know what I'll do. I'll do that because that's not even actually really rum. Talking to myself. Almost out of Bacardi too. Gotta get. I wonder if anyone's got a decent white rum. Oh, this is gonna be a killer drink. This is gonna be an absolutely killer drink. Okay. What's in your head? How much of my overproof rum is left? Yep, that's it. It's just 2 ounces left. Good night, Irene. Gonna have to go get some more overproof rum. Just because that's a thing every household should have. That's my opinion. Have some overproof spirits in your house. I'm not an alcoholic. Who said I'm an alcoholic? How much falernum? Okay. I'll do 1 ounce of falernum. Just mixing up the devil's brew here. Don't mind me, kids. And now we'll also put a bunch of fruit juices in it. I'll put my boozers back. Big bad ads. No, I've got enough space. I just want to know because most. Okay, I was about to tell a big lie and say I'm mostly just buying replacements at the moment. But I did actually boost my stocks recently with these Vok liqueurs, the fruity liqueurs, because they were on special at Dan's. Okay. Geez, I don't know if this is any good. And I want grapefruit juice. There's the grapefruit juice. Okay. Ugh. Ooh, I need to test this. Make sure it's okay. I'm just got to go over here. Actually, I'm going to do this. Tip that out. Put that in there. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. Doing this really scientific fucking shit over here. Okay. So we've got all the fruit juices, 30 mils. So I'm going to do 60 mils pineapple juice. 20 mils of lime juice. Lime juice. 20 mils of grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice. Splash of grenadine. Just a little splash of my grenadine. The homemade variety. Oh, and I'm going to use my cream of coconut as the clarifying agent again. Cheating a little bit, but I'm going to do it. Okay. It's a splash of grenadine. Ooh, geez, there we go. Just a splash of grenadine. And some drops of absinthe. Just to make it a bit devilish. Little splashy poos of absinthe. That's enough. Just to give it that little kick. Right. And that's... Oh, now I've got to think, how many ounces did I do of all that? Probably went about 4 ounces of my cream of coconut to clarify it. Be all scientific about this. Ugh. Right. Oh, the magic of some cocktail chemistry going on. Yes, I'll open my own store. Ads Dan Angry's. Look, Shrew, you've gone a while. Oh, you had to go from your mum's place from St Albans. Yeah, St Albans to Warrigal is a bit of a trek, mate. I can understand that. All right, my homemade cream of coconut. It's going to be the clarifying agent. Do 4 ounces of it, I think. This stuff is so decadent. half coconut milk, which has a really high fat content, and half sugar. So bad for you. So bad for you. But tastes so good. Super weird noise then. Anyway. Uber ride cost you $120. Fuck me. You must have really wanted to get home, man. Right. And now we put this amber liquid into the coconut milk, which will curdle. And we can make our yummy clarified zombie, which won't taste much like alcohol at all, which will be super dangerous because there is a metric fuck ton of alcohol in it. I'll probably test drink it on tomorrow night's live stream. I was also going to do some Navy Strength martinis tomorrow night to celebrate the fact I got my Navy Strength gin. So it's like, one Navy Strength gin and one zombie is enough to put you fucking out for the night. So if that's a good, why do delicious things have to be bad for people? It's really weird to me that humans changed their environment orders of magnitude faster than evolution could keep up with. Like the pleasure response to things like sugar and fat. Again, you talk to evolutionary biologists and they'll tell you their theory is the pleasure reactions to things like sugar and fat is that when you're a hunter-gatherer, those things are quite difficult to get. You have to expend a lot of energy to get them. They're difficult to get. And so you get this pleasure response from having them. So you want to put that extra effort in to getting something that's sweet or something that's really fatty. Hunt down the animal that you can kill and cook. Because it tastes good. Get the honey from the beehive that's dangerous and difficult to get because it tastes so good. But then we fucking developed agriculture and processing of foods, and we can just produce calorie-rich but really empty food that you can eat enormous amounts of, and it's super fucking bad for you because your little fucking mammal brain goes, that's good, I'll have more of that. Ooh, endorphins, I must eat more of this. It's ridiculous. Look at you, out of my liver and kidney sound. I don't drink. Okay, no, actually, I take that back. I drink probably more than is strictly speaking good for me. I've actually cut back recently. I think some doctors would still tut and go, that's probably a bit much. Like that one cocktail I made tonight, which didn't even get me particularly drunk. But I think your average health practitioner would go, that's about as much as you should drink, really. You shouldn't drink more than that in one 24-hour period. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have a couple drinks, and a couple of them are going to be pretty potent. And the amount I'm going to drink would probably get classified as binge drinking. I think you have to... I'll look that up. What classifies as binge drinking? Fiction, Reach Out Australia. It's not being able... What qualifies as binge drinking? Pattern of drinking that brings a person's blood alcohol concentration to 0.08 or above. Typically happens when men consume 5 or more drinks and women consume 4 or more drinks in 2 hours. So that's like 2 cocktails, 2 decent cocktails in 2 hours. So yeah, what I'm going to do tomorrow night definitely counts as binge drinking. Is a binge drinker the same as an alcoholism? Alcoholism is classified as substance use disorder. Binge drinking can fall in the same category, but doesn't necessarily. There you go. How many drinks a day is considered an alcoholic? According to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse, drinking is considered to be moderate, low risk range. 3 drinks in a day, no more than 7 drinks in a week. 4 drinks a day, 14 drinks in a week. Oh dear. Well, yes. Certainly on almost all days, I would fall well under the 4 drinks thing. But 14 drinks a week, yeah. What got me into drinking? It tastes nice. Well, actually, no. Socializing got me into drinking. Hanging out with like YouTube people, and there's a joke where I would order, when in a pub, I'd order like the girliest drink they had, something that was very fruity and basically concealed the taste of the alcohol. It's only in more recent years, the last couple of years, I started experimenting with cocktails. I started enjoying the actual taste of alcohol. So yes, why do cheap things have to be bad for you? Looking squarely at you, Pastor. Again, moderation, there's nothing wrong with pasta, but it's just is so easy to eat too much pasta. I can just say in the abstract, moderation is key. I don't do things in moderation. That's why I'm a fat bastard. Because I'm lazy and indulgent, and I like myself, so I'm like, you do it, big guy, treat yourself. Which is really bad. So yeah, I mean, there's for the longest time I didn't drink alcohol at all, and a large part of that is because there's a lot of alcohol abuse in my family. And yeah, it's like a weird reaction, like when you're at school and they talk about what's peer pressure. Why do people do dumb things because of peer pressure? It's like, oh, you want to fit in. And I was such a fucking social outcast at school. So I actually made a conscious decision. So, okay, if people start drinking and smoking because of peer pressure, well, I know none of these fuckers like me anyway. So I'm not going to do dumb shit to try and fit in. Fuck it. I'm not going to smoke and I'm not going to drink. And I didn't for the longest time. And even when I was in a really positive environment, like when I was at college, Azy and I went to the same college, Mitchell, which is Charles Sturt University now. Super alcohol and substance driven environment there, like for so much alcohol abuse, so much drug use. And I didn't drink any alcohol or do any drugs while I was there. I was one of a tiny, tiny, tiny number who could say they went through Mitchell and didn't do any drugs and any alcohol. I just wasn't into it. But I still had fun hanging out with people, to the extent that people thought I was getting drunk with them and was getting high with them because I was having fun when they were getting drunk and getting high. So, yeah, they, and it's like in the last 10 years, I started drinking some, and like I said, I was drinking silly girly drinks, then I got into cider, and then it's in the last 2 to 4 years, I started mixing cocktails, and then you start to get seriously into alcohol when you do that. Like I would hate to be on job seeker on a number of levels, but yes, the nanny started giving me a card saying I can't buy alcohol with it, which would be particularly bad. Oh God, everything they do to people on job seeker or sickness benefits is fucking class warfare. I hate it so much. See, I should be, because I'm the well-paid IT worker now. I should be the person complaining about more taxes going to support them. Fuck that. Fuck that. The degree of abuse leveled at people who need support makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. And it's just a terrible way to be so fucking judgmental on people who need the most support. I fucking hate it. Sally, you're on the injury card, but you have a massive collection of whiskey when you're working, so you can still get classes. Well, that's thinking ahead, really. But yes, I am not a fan of the class warfare that goes on against people who need support. Right, I'm going to quickly rinse these and come back, and then it's close to saying good night time. I'll just do this. And rinse this. All right. And I get a funnel. How far does this go down if I put this here? Too far. Okay, good to know. I'll use this funnel instead. Stop it. Go back in there. Yeah. Everything's falling out of the cupboard. It's a disaster. So I'm going to put this funnel in here. Get a coffee filter. Yeah, I'm sexy angel. Right. Coffee filter. Be like that, and we pour this in here. There we go. Pour it all in. Pour that delicious zombie juice in. Such a well-named drink. Will turn me into a zombie if I drink too much of it. There we go. Perfect. There is no doubting that is why this drink is called the zombie, because it's so strong. If you drink more than one of them, you'll be brain dead. If you think I'm sexy. All right, that's happening. Draining through quickly. It'll start to solidify, and I'll put it through again. Sickness and itis is a nightmare to even get on. Yeah, the fucking class warfare on people on benefits, whether it's unemployment, whether it's sickness, whether it's pension, it's just like, it's so fucked and it's so pointless. It's so meaningless. I say launch class warfare on the fucking mining companies and the banks and the billionaires. Much. Because there's an actual return from waging class warfare on those fucking leeches. I'm a dirty commie, and I don't care who knows it. Not a commie. I've never been a commie. I don't trust people who, I want the Communist Party in control. Like, that actually just sounds like another bunch of assholes with another set of rules. But for the struggle for the workers anyway. Anywho, yes, Stella, eat the rich. Like, I think I said this on the other live stream. Saw online a good meme that said, "You'll never be a billionaire, but it isn't too late to find out what one tastes like." Very silly comedy from the 80s called Eat the Rich. Had people like Adrian Edmondson and Rick Mayall and Robbie Coltrane in it. People from the old Comic Strip Presents. It was not a perfect film, not even necessarily a great film, but there was some very funny stuff in it. And Eat the Rich was actually a restaurant called Eat the Rich, where these working class people were actually killing rich people and grinding them up and feeding them to the other rich people. And the staff treated the rich people like shit, and it became this big thing. The rich people loved going there and getting treated like shit because people sucked up to them everywhere else. So it was like this real novelty that the staff were really obnoxious to them. But they thought the eat the rich thing was a joke. And then they eventually find out it's not a joke. They've actually been eating people. And it's like a little bit of a shock to the system. So, like I said, it's not a flawless film, not even necessarily a particularly great film, but there was some funny stuff in it. Weird, obscure one. Look it up. Mrs. Lovett's Pies. Yes, Stella. So anyway, I am going to go to bed. So good night, you fine people. Look after yourselves. Tomorrow night's Friday night's party night, formal night. I might even make another video tomorrow night. I have nothing in mind, but I think I'll dress up for formal Friday. I actually got some new watches. See, I don't just order booze off the internet. I got some shirts this week. I need some new white shirts. So I might wear one of my nice new white shirts and a tie and a vest. And if I'm doing formal Friday anyway, might as well make a video because that's my cocktail video making clothes. I'm going to try and find Aidsy. I don't know what's happened to him. Haven't heard from him all week. So I have to see what's happening with him if I can find out. And we might see him tomorrow night. And I might have a big old party. And I'm going to binge drink. I think, isn't it? It's only a problem if you're in denial, if you fully acknowledge, like, I'm drinking a lot of alcohol. I'm like, yeah, okay. I am drinking a lot of alcohol tomorrow night. I don't want to get too. I never really drink enough to have a hangover, like to feel like death the next day, to have the headache. But sometimes I wake up and go, okay, I'm just a little bit I'm just a little bit nauseated still, and I have no energy. And it's like, yeah, okay. I'm really glad I didn't drink any more than I did last week, because then I would be fucking sick. But yes, you got to do it in moderation. Anyway, so look after yourself, one and all. I hope to see you again soon, but I will say goodbye for now.